So you know when dads sit you down and give you life advice? That's how I feel about Steve Gadd every time I watch him play. So I was watching this drum solo the other day, and it's one of those vintage solos that we all used to watch as kids. Steve Gadd's just playing an open solo on the drums, and there are so many things to unpack here that we can learn from. What was interesting about this when I was trying to learn this stuff is usually when I make videos like this, I just learn what the drummer plays and then play it. But I was really struggling here, and it just made me realize how Steve Gadd is still one of the best drummers ever. Right, first idea. This is a really basic groove that he does one thing that makes it so much more difficult, and that is he opens his hi-hat a whole bunch of times throughout. What he's doing here is playing this basic pattern, but then he's opening his hi-hat on all the E counts of each group of 16th notes. Let's try speed it up. Okay, there's the groove, there's the idea. That already, I had to sit with it for a very long time to figure that out and get it going. It's basically like a four-way coordination thing because you're using all four of your limbs to play this groove. Okay, so now how can we get better by learning how to play this groove? We could start trying to do our own things and see if that main groove just kind of sticks. When I was trying this out, what I found was adding bass drum notes was quite easy. It's when I started to add snare drum notes where things started to get tricky. Okay, this next idea is my favorite part of this whole solo that Steve Gadd is playing, and what he's doing here is he is busting out 30-second notes. 30-second notes, it just means you're fitting a crap ton of notes into a bar, and basically what's happening is he's playing a 16th note idea, and then he's doubling the subdivision to kind of double the number of notes he's playing. This type of drumming is really popular nowadays with drummers like J.D. Beck and Lewis Cole doing it all the time. However, back in the 80s and 90s, Steve Gadd was the guy who used to do this a lot. So here's how you play exactly what he does in that solo. This is a linear pattern, meaning you don't play any notes at the same time. The thing that Steve Gadd is doing in the solo that sounds so effective is he's playing normally and then he pulls out the 30-second notes. So to practice that, let's play some normal grooves and then just bust those 30-second note grooves out and then go back and forth. Okay, I play 30-second notes all the time, but this one was tricky to learn just because it's a pattern that I'm not used to. So what I wanted to try do is kind of mix 30-second note grooves that I'm comfortable with this one to see if I can create something cool. So here's a 30-second note idea that I play all the time. I then wanted to see if I could interchangeably mix the two just to create some cool sounds. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to pull out of the solo to show you guys. It's a really cool lick that he's pulling out here, and he constantly goes back to it. To play this lick, you're going to play eighth notes on the hi-hat with all the and counts being accented. Then you're going to play this repeating bass drum pattern, and then you're going to fit a whole bunch of ghost notes in between those notes. Cool, so that was a lick, an idea that he kept coming back to, and I wanted to see how I could apply that to my own playing, so I basically just thought, let's play a few grooves, see how we can fit that lick in there. And there are 3 Steve Gadd ideas that are absolutely just, you can do so much with those. And it is so crazy that he would have filmed this drum solo decades ago, and people like me are still learning from this stuff and learning from stuff that he did then, and he still plays all this stuff now, even though he's really old. That's why I still think Steve Gadd is one of the most influential drummers ever, and he will continue to be for years to come. While we looked at Steve Gadd's playing here, there are plenty of other pro drummers that we can learn from, and if you want to get a bit more inspiration and find out more things to play, I recommend checking out this video where I show you how to play a few grooves from Yusef Days.